What is going on, Locks Mob, and welcome back to the Locks DFS NHL Breakdown. I'm your host, Narang. I'll be breaking down the 6-game main slate for DraftKings, FanDuel, and Prize Picks on Wednesday, January 23rd. Before I do that, though, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, you can do so right here at ReallyAddies, where I tweet about all things sports bets, hockey, etc., etc. We're coming off a real big night. Last night in hockey, members landed on some great teams on DraftKings based off of these videos, based off of our cheat sheets, based off of our Slack interaction. It's been a great run in hockey the past few weeks. As well as on FanDuel, we won again over there. Just missing cash in tournaments, but cashing real deep in cash games. I won all my head-to-heads. I won most of my three-man. So it was a really good night over there. And we're going to do it again today. So, unfortunately, this is our last day of hockey for the next 4 days, I believe. We have All-Star break coming up. And so that'll run until Monday, Jan 28th. And then on Jan 28th, we return with a 2-game slate. And that entire week, we got a 2-game slate, a 3-game slate, a 2-game slate, a 3-game slate, and a 5-game, and on Friday we have a main slate. So a bunch of crappy slates coming up, but obviously still profitable. Still, we can still make a lot of money on these Monday slates. But unfortunately, we do have 4 days off for hockey. But I hope you guys use that time wisely. Maybe play some NBA. Maybe just relax, recoup. I know I'm gonna be doing a bit of both. I actually have to move, so I gotta pack and clean, and I gotta get out of here. So I'm going to be real busy this All-Star break, so it kind of came at a perfect time for me. But all that stuff aside, oh, by the way, our Prize Picks, 3-0 yesterday as well. The pick I gave away on the video, Alex Galchenyuk, under 3.5, that hit. And then the 2 picks I gave away on the site, Matt Barzal and someone else who I'm forgetting. Both of those hit the over. Dylan Larkin, that's who it was. So that went real well. I'm actually going to give away another free prize pick in this video once I get to that guy's position. So let's break this down. 6-game slate. We're going to start doing it. We're going to do it positionally from the top. Break down a few of my favorite plays that I like at each price point, at each position. And let's start at the top. So I think this top is going to come down to whether or not you want to pay up for a Toronto center or you want to pay it for Nathan MacKinnon at home. Typically, the answer to that is always Nathan MacKinnon at home, except for maybe tonight, because we have a Toronto team versus a Capitals team on a back-to-back. And Toronto, it's rare that you'll see a lot of reverse line movement on an already really big favorite, but that's what you have today. Toronto opened at -164. They've received 35% of the bets and have jumped all the way to -190. It makes sense when you consider the mess the Capitals have been prior to last game. Defensively, they've been atrocious over the past couple weeks. They've slowly been climbing up the expected goals against ladder. I believe this is filtered via away, but I believe overall they're third in the league in expected goals against per 60. And now they're stepping into Toronto, which can really punish a team that is not sound defensively. So I think getting exposed to these Toronto guys might be a priority over MacKinnon here. If you can still afford MacKinnon, you can never go wrong with MacKinnon. You're locking yourself into the highest floor of all forward eligible players. So if you can afford both, for sure. I think it's a really tough decision for me. But I'm really liking Auston Matthews. I'm really liking this Auston Matthews line versus a Washington team that, Minnesota for MacKinnon is a great defensive team. Obviously, they're still exploitable, especially when MacKinnon's at home. He can get matched up against the depth lines of Minnesota. But it's a real tough one. I think I'm leaning Auston Matthews or leaning one of these Toronto centers, I should say, especially for the savings you get with Tavares. Scrolling down a bit farther, though, I think there's a lot of interesting plays in this mid-price range. I'm just going to talk about 2 guys before I get out of here, sort of priced similarly. The first guy is Braden Shen at 4.7K. I think the St. Louis both these St. Louis lines are really interesting to me versus an Anaheim team that, despite getting healthy, is still not made too many strides as far as expected goals against per 60 goes. They still rank towards the bottom of the league in that regard. And I like getting exposure to both these St. Louis lines. Braden Shen, Jaden Schwartz is so overdue as far as just how much he's been shooting the puck and the results he's been getting. And he's cheap at 4.3K. So I think a pair of Jaden Schwartz and Braden Shen, getting them both at a combined 9K is probably as cheap as you will ever get them. So I think that is a more than viable approach. And then the last guy I wanted to talk about was Philip Denault. I'm really interested in Montreal, Arizona, another team that's on a back-to-back, and they will be missing Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who flew back to Arizona with an injury. So that gives a big bump to Jacob Chikrin, who I already love. Just as a DFS player, I love playing him. He is a little expensive in this matchup. They did price hike him, so I don't know if I'll be playing him, but he definitely gets a boost. But mainly that's just bad for Arizona's defense, losing Oliver Ekman-Larsson. So I really like a lot of these Montreal players, especially the fact that they have a 3.6 team total, which is real nice to see. So I think getting exposure to that Philip Denault, Brendan Gallagher line is sort of where I'm trying to go with this. But I think both those top two lines are certainly in play. With that being said, let's move on to winger because that's enough for center. Those sort of three guys. Moving on to winger, coming out of the top plays, we had Ovechkin as the cover boy last night, and he was locked in on FanDuel. Carried us to real big wins. Don't know if I'm going back there. I honestly think some of this reverse line movement could maybe be because Ovechkin might sit this one out. Total speculation, but it's random to see this much reverse line movement on an already big favorite. So maybe Ovechkin could be out tonight. I'm total speculation. He's in as far as everyone knows. So he's a great play. Don't know if I'll be paying up for him, though. I think I'd rather pay up for those center guys like McKinnon and Austin Matthews and sort of pay down at this winger range. One guy I'm really looking at paying down for is Brendan Gallagher here at 5.9K. Way too cheap. Way too cheap for his iCourse 4 per 60. I hope Corsica's not down, which it's not, so I can just show you guys. Brendan Gallagher, if we filter this via Montreal and via iCourse 4 per 60, which is how much these guys put the puck on net, Brendan Gallagher leads the team at 24.41. That actually leads the entire NHL. So he's shooting the puck a ton. You want exposure to guys like that. This guy literally shot the puck 8 times last game, 8 shots on goal. So I love him. I love him at 5.9K, and he is in fact my Prize Picks free pick of the day. I think you smash the over on Brendan Gallagher here, over 3.5, and I'd be comfortable betting that all the way up to 4.5, so almost a full point above where it's at right now. I really like this pick, so that's y'all's free Prize Pick of the day. Appreciate you guys who check out this video. I gotta give you guys something. With that being said, I love Brendan Gallagher, but let me scroll down a little bit, give you guys one more play. It's Nino Niederreiter for Carolina. So Michael Furlan was a late scratch 2 games ago, and Nino skated on that first line. And then with Furlan back, we expected that to change. Thankfully, it didn't change. Nino remained on that first line as well as that first team power play. So skating with, or I guess not, I guess they, that's interesting. I guess they moved Furlan to the first team power play. He was on the first team power play. Still an awesome play, though. Still a really awesome play. Just getting that Aho exposure at 5v5 versus a, I should say, defensively inept. Or not fully defensively inept. They're healthier now, Vancouver, but not one of the best defensive teams in the league. And then the last guy I wanted to talk about was a guy that I already did talk about. I think I just scrolled past him. Was Jaden Schwartz. Guy is way too underpriced for how much he's shooting the puck. I hope it doesn't make me refresh. There we go. If I just show you iCourse 4 per 60 wide, Jaden Schwartz, 3rd in the league at 15.68. But look at that individual shooting percentage, man. 2.53. For a guy like Jaden Schwartz, that should regress to something like 8% maybe. Even Tarasenko's due for some positive shooting regression. So I like both these guys as far as just guys who deserve more goals than they're getting. I think you can play them both. And then moving on to defense. Starting up top, we got a bunch of high floor guys. Obviously, we like our D versus Toronto guys, and we like our D versus Minnesota guys. So I like Tyson Barrie in this matchup. Point per dollar wise, he's a great play here at home versus Minnesota. Definitely see myself with him in my lineup. Another really high floor guy, Alex Edler. I really like Alex Edler's price on FanDuel, I should say, more than I do on DraftKings. He's priced at 4.3K on FanDuel. He's a lock over here. I don't know why he's priced this cheap on FanDuel. He's definitely a lock over here. And then in the pay down range, there's a few things we got to look at. First, Colin Miller's price. 4K, still too cheap for Colin Miller. It's a tough matchup versus Nashville. FanDuel didn't do anything about his price. He's still priced at like 3.7, so still a lock. I mean, maybe not a lock because it's versus Nashville, but that's definitely going to be the cheap defenseman that if I'm paying down, I'll probably go towards. I mean, just getting a guy on the power play one role that shoots the puck as much as Colin Miller does. The guy has 4 assists in 2 games since he's been back. Tough matchup versus Nashville, but at home, Vegas still projected for a pretty healthy 3.2 goals. I think Colin Miller can get involved in those. And then, as always, goalkeeper. You guys know what to do about goalie. Make the rest of your team look at it, see who you got a bunch of players from, and then play the goalie that correlates with your team, because you want, if your players do well, you want your goalie to get the win. So do that. I hope your goalie racks up some saves, and I hope that works out for you. So that being said, guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. As always, please do like, comment, and subscribe if you did enjoy. You will be entered into winning a free season pass of your choice, any sport you want, totally your choice. If you haven't already, deposit on Prize Picks. They'll hook you up. If you use our code LOCKS or the first link in the bio, they'll hook you up with a free 2-pick entry up to $50 and a 100% bonus match on any deposit up to $1,000. So you deposit $1,000 onto that site, they'll give you $1,000 in promo funds. And all you got to do is roll that over once, and then it's good to withdraw. So go ahead and check them out. Use that free pick I gave you, Brendan Gallagher over 3.5. I hope you guys win a ton of money tonight, and I will see you next Monday after All-Star break. Peace.